This
Others,
conference
let
will
them
now
join
be
in
recorded.
between. Okay, so yesterday we were discussing regarding the purchasing department. What exactly a purchasing department performing the activities. So we discussed that the purchasing department will perform two types of activities normally. One is the activity number one is procurement of the materials, like various types of material they are into. When I say various types of materials, so like there are various categories of the materials in an organization. So we have taken Tata Motors as one of the example. Let us say if I take Tata Motors Pune manufacturing plant, so based upon the type of the industry, we will be, or the purchasing department is going to buy the materials. Like one category of the materials that every organization will be purchasing will be a raw material, right? So what is raw material? Can anyone tell? So we will be discussing raw material, right? Let us say if my organization is a steel industry, so the people will in the steel industry will purchase a raw material known as, can anyone tell what is the raw material that is being used in the steel industry? What is the raw material being used in the steel industry? Can anyone tell? So the raw material used in the steel industry is iron ore.
Wrought iron.
Yeah.
Wrought
Iron
iron and
ore and
yeah,
wrought iron, right?
yeah.
Yeah, wrought iron. Also the sponge iron, right? So sponge iron raw material is nothing but a base material upon which the organization is going to do some production processes or activities, so that that particular raw material will be converted into a some product which is nothing but a raw material. So if I take a steel industry as an example, so for the purchasing department involved in the steel industry will be purchasing the raw materials like iron ore, wrought iron and sponge iron, etc. Also, if my industry is a plastic molding industry, let us say I am running a plastic molding industry. In the plastic molding industry, what are the raw materials that are used? Can anyone tell? So in the plastic molding industry, the raw material that will be used are PP granules, right? Plastic granules. Normally we will call it as a plastic granules. Means these plastic granules will be poured into the molding machine and it will be getting converted into a plastic chair or plastic utilities, etc. If I take cement industry as an example purpose, let us say cement industry I took, right? So what are the raw materials that are being used in the cement industry? Can anyone tell? What is the raw material being used in the cement industry?
Silica, glass, granules, and something. Sand, silica, glass, granules.
I think those will be used in the glass industry, but in cement industry, normally you will use limestone.
Limestone, yeah, limestone.
Yeah, limestone, then clay
Sand,
and gypsum. Yeah,
sand.
sand and gypsum, right? Sand and gypsum. So like this, based upon the type of organization, you will be buying a various types of raw materials. So any raw material procurement to be executed in an organization, that will be taken care by a purchasing department. So raw material is one category of the material that is being procured by a purchasing department. Then we have spare materials, right? There is one more type of category of the material that is known as a spare materials, right? So when I say spare materials, The examples of the spare materials are like, let us say bearing, right? So bearing is one of the spare material, like tires and tube and engine assembly. These and all spare materials, right? These are the spare materials are the spare parts, which will be normally procured by a purchasing department. Also, you have a packaging material.
So what is procured or procurement? Exact meaning?
So the procurement activity is, I think yesterday we discussed. You joined today only?
Yeah, sir, I joined today only. Today is my first class. Sorry to ask. I know, although,
No
but I
problem.
am
No problem. No
confused in the
problem.
meaning.
No problem. Could you please briefly explain what exactly you are doing? Are you working or are you a fresher?
So my name is Mohammed Nizam.
Yeah.
I'm a senior project manager for a L&T client. I'm a master's in building services, centralized air conditioning system.
Okay. So how many years of experience you are have?
So I'm having 13 years plus of experience. I'm a master's in the mechanical design engineering, basically air conditioning, building services, MEP engineering, and I'm
Okay.
working for
Okay.
a L&T client. But at the moment, my job
Okay.
has going part time due to the Corona scenarios. So it may be going on full time since from couple of months, I suppose, optimistically. But at the moment, it's going on part time.
Okay. Okay.
So
No problem. So
I'm
the
assistant project manager.
okay. Okay. No problem. So the
Hello.
when I say a
Yeah, this is
procurement,
hello.
so yeah.
Yeah, this
Yes,
is
sir.
myself Mahesh. I am the new this class.
Okay.
This is
You
my
joined
first
today
time.
only.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, right now actually I'm working as a cloud engineer. So I want to migrate on this CPMM. So I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know
good.
about
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we started the class yesterday only. So we
So, sir,
actually
sorry to interrupt, sir. It is yesterday demo class or was the first class?
no, yesterday was the demo class, and we are
Okay,
continuing the same in today's class as well. I think you discuss with Sudeepa, so she will be able to share you the recording for the yesterday session so that you can go through it. So
okay,
yesterday we just had the introduction for all the people. There were some 14 to 15 people. So we have taken the
mm,
introduction. Apart from that, I started giving some understanding what exactly the procurement and how it helps, or how
okay,
the procurement related activities are supported by SAP. So that is what we are trying to go through.
okay, okay. So exactly, I
So
know what the procurement mean, but exactly because it was very far when I studied or I was doing the work on the procurement side. So what the exactly word procurement means in material management?
procurement is nothing but you go to any of the organization. Let us say you go to any of the organization. Let us say the construction company. So let us say
I was thinking.
I will take an example of the Tata Motors Pune manufacturing plant. Yesterday I have taken that example.
No, no, I
Let
was thinking procurement regarding construction industry only. That was in my mind, but how it relates to mechanical industry, I was asking that.
any industry, whether it is a mechanical or whether it is construction or whether it is a oil and gas sector or any power sector or mining sector, anything, the procurement activity means you need some material for your activities purpose, and you do not have that particular material readily available with you. Then what you will do, you will go to the external market and
Okay,
you will
okay,
try to purchase from the external vendors or the suppliers who is having that particular material.
okay,
So
okay,
you will pay some amount of money to those suppliers and get that particular money and bring that particular material into your company premises and use those materials in the production process of your organization,
okay,
which is
okay. So,
nothing but a procurement activity.
okay, means to purchase in short a raw material and to use and to execute in our process, that is procurement. You mean to say?
Yes, yes.
Whatsoever the
Simple.
field, I was thinking regarding procurement only for civil engineering side, not for mechanical. I was thinking. Okay, okay, it might be used
No,
for us
no, no.
also.
Any organization who requires a material, for their
Okay.
production processes, they will go for the
Okay.
procurement activities.
Okay. So suppose if we want to do any production activity with respect to the mechanical side, so whatever the raw material, especially iron and wrought iron or something, whatever we are using and we are
Yes,
purchasing from the vendors, so that is also
yes,
procurement activity with respect to production industry, you mean to say?
yes, yes.
Okay. Very much thanks for the clearance and out. I was thinking only
Yeah.
for civil engineering, the word that is related to.
No, no, no.
Okay,
It's
thanks.
for
Thanks.
everything. Any organization, let us say I don't have rice in my home. So what I will do, I will go to the market and buy it, right? It is also one of the procurement activity only.
Means the grocery, you
So
mean to say?
yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for clearance.
Yeah.
I was thinking only for related to civil engineering only, I was thinking. So I was confused how to use with respect to mechanical side. Okay. Okay. Thanks
No,
very
no, no.
much.
It's for everything. Okay.
Okay.
So then
You.
thanks for
Thanks.
the introduction. Then
Yeah.
we are going to, the procurement department is going to purchase a packaging materials as well. When I say packaging materials, the examples of the packaging materials are like you have a cotton box. Cotton box is one of the packaging material. Then you have a polythene cover. So since we have the freshers also available in this particular class, so I am trying to give you a brief understanding what a procurement department in the organization is trying to do, so that if you know the processes, you will be able to implement that particular process in SAP systems. That is my motto, so that I will be able to explain the activities that are happening in the purchasing department. So polythene cover are the plastic covers which will be purchased in the organizations to pack the materials, also a packaging material. Also we have a thermocol. So thermocol also one of the cushioning or the packaging material which normally will be purchased in the organizations. So like this, not only raw materials, spare materials or packaging materials, you will have so many 20 to 25 different types of materials that are available in the SAP system, against which the procurement department is going to do the procurement activities. So just for your understanding purpose, I will try to get into the SAP and I will try to show you what are the materials that are available in the organization of SAP. So let me get into the SAP system just for your understanding purpose. I don't want to confuse you, but I will just show it to you. What are the various types of materials that are configured in the SAP standard, right? So let me go to the SAP system. Okay, so I will let you know how to log in into SAP system, etc. in our coming sessions. But in this session, I just want to show it to you what are the material types that are available in the SAP as a standard. Okay, so HANA 71. I think, did anyone seen SAP screens prior to this particular class? Anyone has experience working with SAP screens as an end user or some activity you are doing? Anyone in this class? Have you ever seen SAP screens? Anybody?
Yes, sir, I seen, sir. Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir, I seen.
only one person. Okay. Okay, so this is how SAP looks like. So, but this is one of the older version of the SAP. So the newest version is SAP HANA and S4 HANA, but I am trying to connect to the S4 HANA server, but it is not working. Okay, but I will let you know whenever the S4 HANA server starts working, so that I will be able to show it to you as well. But this is one of the earlier version of the SAP package. So if I go to this particular SAP server, so I will be able to see what are the various types of materials that are available within the SAP, which will be normally procured in an organization as a procurement activity. So I am just trying to show it to you, but you need not to get confused by looking into this particular screen. We will discuss each and everything in our coming sessions. So let me get into the material master. then basic settings, then material types, then attributes of the material types. Okay, so I will try to show it to you. So this is one of the raw material type. So this is the SAP standard raw material type, which will be used to do the procurement of the raw materials. We will see what is the material type, what is the purpose of creating the material type. These things we can see in our coming sessions. But I just want to show it to you the different types of materials that are available over here. So then we have a packaging materials. So this is the packaging material type. Then we have a finished materials. So this is the finished material. Then we have a semi-finished materials. This is the semi-finished product. Then we have a package spare materials. So we have the spare materials, we have non-stock materials, non-valuated materials, etc. Like that. So like this, here somebody created 279 materials. Since this is a test system, so people are trying to do their own testing. So that is the reason they have created 279 different materials. But as per SAP standard, you will have 20 to 30 different materials available. Okay, so I just want to show it to you what and all the various material that you can procure in the purchasing department based upon the type of industry. Right, so we have a pipeline material. So there is one more material type known as a pipeline material. Pipeline material is nothing but the material which will be used pipeline as a medium to transfer from one location to another location. Can anyone tell what are the pipeline materials? The material that will be using pipeline as a medium, like water.
So
Water is
metallic
one
as well as
pipeline
non-metallic
material.
materials.
Why?
Metallic as
Because
well as
from the municipal corporation to your house, it is transferring via a pipe. Oil, gas, also the electricity. Electricity will be coming from electricity line to your house via a electric conductor. So which will be electric conductor will be a pipeline or the medium which will be used by the electricity to transfer the material. Right? So like this, we will discuss what and all the various types of materials that are available in the SAP standard in our coming sessions. But I just want to show it to you the SAP screen so that you will have some little bit of idea. Then apart from this, the procurement department is not only going to do the procurement of the materials like raw materials or spare materials, etc. It will also do the procurement of the services, not only the material procurement. As the activity number 2, the purchasing department will involved in procurement of various types of services. So when I say service, what is the difference between a service and the material? Can anyone tell what is the difference between a material and the service procurement?
So material is a object which we use for finishing or executing the purpose which we want to do by that, and service is the means it's a service is the mode of doing the work with respect to the material using. That is
Yeah,
the difference, I
exactly.
suppose.
So in the normal way of talking, so raw materials are nothing but you can quantify the material. Let us say a refrigerator is one material, TV is one material, iron ore is one material. So if you are buying iron ore from one of the supplier, you can quantify the iron ore in terms of 10 tons or 20 tons or 30 tons. You will be able to physically visualize the quantity of that particular material. Let us say I am buying one TV. I brought one car. Means I am physically quantifying the car. I will be physically visualize the quantity of the car, right? But when I say service I will be able to quantify, but I will not be able to physically visualize the service. Let us say one type of service is I gave my mobile for the service. Let us say I purchased a mobile during 10 years back, which was upgraded with one of the older version of the software. Today I want to upgrade to a latest version of the software. Then what I will do? I will go to one mobile shop and I will hand over my mobile to that particular person. He will take my mobile and he will uninstall the old software and install the new software. And I will pay a service charges of some 500 or 1000 rupees to that particular mobile shop person. It is a mobile software installation and uninstallation service. Here I do not have any physical visibility, right? How he did it, what he did it, all those things I do not have a physical visibility. I just paid a service charges for the uninstallation and the installation of the service. In the same way, in an organization, you have lots of machinery. Any machine can come to a breakdown, right? Whenever a machine came to a breakdown, you will hire the services from the external persons. Somebody will from the external market will come to your company. He will try to rectify that particular machine so that you will pay some amount of money as a service charges. So that is nothing but a service procurement. Like I just gave you one example of the machinery maintenance, but if you go to the organization, there will be hundreds of different services will be there. All those services will be handled by a procurement department as a procurement activity. So the procurement department will follow some 12 to 18 different business scenarios to execute a procurement of the material or to execute a procurement of the service. Like you have a domestic procurement scenario, you have a import procurement scenario, you have a subcontracting, you have stock transfer between two different locations. Like that, there are some 18 different scenarios are there. All those scenarios will be addressed by SAP materials management as a software. Like material procurement and the service procurement will be addressed by or supported by SAP materials management as a software. How will supports what and all the individual activities to be performed, we will see in our coming sessions. So not only the procurement activities in SAP MM, it will also support the inventory management related activities. So by using the purchasing department, I have procured some material to my organization. I need to store those materials in my company premises, right? Let us say I have ordered 10 electric motors. Those motors came to my company. So I need to store those materials in a proper area, in a good condition. If you go to any one of the organization, there will be crores of rupees will be invested in buying the materials. If I am throwing the material just like that in the outside atmosphere, they will get damaged. So there is one department in an organization known as a stores or the inventory management department. Stores are inventory management department. So stores or the inventory management department will be normally storing the materials that are received from the external suppliers. Not only storage, they need to maintain a proper accounting. Let us say I received 10 tons of cement. I need to maintain proper accounting for the 10 tons of the cement as a stores in charge. How much quantity I have utilized in my production, how much quantity I have transferred to the another plant, and what is the quantity physically I have with me. So such type of accounting you need to maintain at any moment of time. So stores department will be acting as a bank, right? In the bank, what you will do? You will store the money, right? But in the stores or the warehouse department, you are going to store the materials. When I say material, material is nothing but a indirectly money only. Why I am saying material is indirectly a money? Can anyone tell? Because I am paying some money to the external person and bringing the materials to my company premises, right? Nobody will give you the material in the organizations for free of cost. You need to make the payment to the another person. He will give it to you and bring them and keep them in the stores department and utilize those materials into the production processes based upon the requirement. So in the inventory management or the stores department, again there will be various activities happening. Activities means sometimes you will be issuing the materials to production department, right? Then sometimes you will transfer to the another plant. So in a company there are two manufacturing locations. One manufacturing location has the material, but the another manufacturing plant doesn't have the material. So I can transfer from one plant to another plant. So transfer of the materials. Also selling to the customers. In my company I have some material. I am producing refrigerator. I want to sell to the customer, right? So issue of the materials to customer requirements. So I just gave you only 3 examples, but if you go to the any one of the industry, so in the stores department there are so many activities will be happening. All those activities will be supported by SAP materials management as a software. So let me write it down. So procurement of the materials, also the procurement of the services, also the storage of the materials in the warehouse or the stores department will be addressed by SAP materials management as a software. How it is addressing, what and all the various configurations are the master data we need to maintain for this particular solution, we will see it in our coming sessions. So let us say SAP materials management will support the inventory management or the stores department functionalities only 30%, right? It supports the business processes only 30%. Means you do not have solutions available in the SAP MM completely for the stores or the warehouse management functionalities. But if you wanted to have the 100% functionalities addressed in the stores department, we need to go for the another module known as SAP WM or SAP Extended Warehouse Management Functionalities. So there are two modules. If you wanted to have the 100% functionalities to be addressed by SAP software, so you need to go for SAP WM. SAP WM also discontinued now completely. Okay, but instead of SAP WM, you can go for SAP Extended Warehouse Management, SAP EWM. So Extended Warehouse Management. So, but SAP Extended Warehouse Management is having huge demand nowadays But if you want to learn SAP WM or EWM, you need to learn SAP MM first. Without learning SAP MM, you will not be able to understand the functionalities of the SAP WM or extended warehouse management. So one of the major advantages of the learning SAP MM is you can enhance your skills into the another modules like SAP EWM or SAP WM, SAP Ariba, SAP APO, etc. So that is one of the advantage learning SAP MM. If you learn SAP SD or SAP PP or QM, you do not have option to learn another modules. Ariba also one of the procurement related module only, right? Whatever may be the functionalities that are there in the SAP materials management, those are also SAP Ariba also supporting the same, but you will be able to do some planning as well in SAP Ariba along with the procurement. Yes. Okay, but SAP Ariba also having a very good demand nowadays. You won't find people very simply in SAP Ariba. It is having huge demand. But if you learn SAP MM, then you will be able to cope up with the SAP Ariba as well. Okay, so I have seen people who learned SAP MM along with SAP extended warehouse management. They are getting huge packages, 40 lakhs minimum in India. Okay, MM plus EWM. If you learn MM, then you learn EWM, and you have 6 years of experience or 4 years of experience, you can get minimum 40 lakhs, 35 lakhs like that package. So that is the demand that SAP is having nowadays. Okay.
Is inventory control basically?
The next topic.
Sorry to interrupt.
So any doubts still here?
So what is inventory control basically? Functions of inventory control and what the inventory control means?
Inventory control means, let us say there is you purchased a material, right? In an organization, let us say you purchased 100 bags of cement. So you need to store that particular cement in the stores department or the inventory management department or the warehouse department properly, right? Also, you need to maintain the accounting for the cement. Nobody should come over there and stolen the cement bags. So you need to take care of the storage of the cement. Also, you need to maintain stores in charge. Like you received 100 bags, 10 bags you have issued to the production department. So 90 bags are available with you. Then again you have transferred 10 bags to the another plant. So 80 bags are available with you. So such type of proper accounting you need to maintain. You need to take care of all the storage, accounting, and issuance of the materials, etc. So this will be called as the inventory management. I just gave you example of one cement bag, but if you go to the organizations, you will have thousands of materials, right? If you take an example of the car industry, in the car there are hundreds of different spare materials. All the materials you are purchasing and storing them in your warehouse. So you need to make, as the stores in charge or the manager, you need to maintain proper accounting for all the materials which you are holding. Right, so excise people will come at any moment of time and they will cross verify what is the inventory levels of the materials in your company. So are you maintaining a proper accounting? Or
so does the inventory means storage or something like that?
Inventory means the materials which you are purchasing, right? It is nothing but a inventory. Inventory
it's a raw material.
The quantity of the materials.
Is it a raw material which we are selling ahead, which we are telling ahead, procurement, something like that, related to that?
Any material which you are purchasing into your company will be a inventory.
Even it would be a finished product by some vendor which we are
Yes,
using at our product level ahead.
yes, it is also a inventory.
Okay, so it can be a finished product also, it can be semi-finished, it can be raw material also.
Yes, any material which you are purchasing will be a inventory into your company.
Okay, okay. And procurement means only the raw material which we need to get finished later.
No, procurement means any material you can purchase it, right? You can do the procurement for any material. It is not like only raw materials you are purchasing. You can buy a scooter, which is a finished material. You can purchase a car, which is a finished material. You can buy a coal, which is a coal will not be a raw material, consumable. Coal is a consumable. Petrol is a consumable. Diesel is a consumable. So like that, whatever may be the material that you are purchasing into your organization will be stored as an inventory in your warehouse or the storage department. Okay, are you still able to get it, or still you have any doubts?
Regarding petrol, you said I was little confused. You said that it's a consumable, so it can't be a procurement material. Something, is it right? Which I understood.
It is a consumable material. Petrol will be falling under the category of the consumables,
Okay, okay.
like petrol,
But
diesel, kerosene, or nitrogen, oxygen gas. Anything, these type of materials will be falling under the category of the material type consumables.
they are
So
also a
if you are,
procurement material.
yeah, if you are buying a diesel, it is a procurement only, right?
Okay. As the example which you have given before for the rice and grocery, which we have discussed before.
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay. Thanks very much indeed, sir. Thanks.
Yeah,
Clear
any
this.
other doubts from the line? I think if you have any doubts, you can stop me at any moment of time so that we will have the clarity. So any doubts, if you have, you can ask me. Any doubts from the line?
No, sir.
Okay. So what about you? Are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
అర్థమవుతుందా? Okay. Okay, so this is only theory part we are discussing, but once you are getting into SAP, so that is something different. Okay.
Sir, just now you were telling regarding SAP Ariba. So do we also have this course at our institute for learning something like that you were
I need
telling?
to check, but I am the SAP MM consultant, so
Okay,
I
okay.
can teach SAP MM as well as WM as well as industry
EW.
specific oil and gas modules. Okay,
Okay,
but
okay, okay. No,
I need to
because
check if somebody is able to provide the Ariba related course.
do you teach EWM which you were mentioning just now before
Yes,
also? Okay, no,
but
because we were not aware of this.
mainly I am into SAP MM, so I mostly teach to
Okay,
the
okay.
students SAP MM. But apart from SAP MM, I can also teach IS Oil and the extended warehouse management related functionalities as well. Okay,
Okay,
so
okay,
this
okay.
is the little bit of background related to the procurement department and the activities that are being executed in the procurement department. Then the next topic is the version history of the SAP. Means version history or the advantages of SAP, right? So what are the advantages of SAP over and above another packages like Oracle, JD Edwards or Tally, etc.? So can anyone tell what are the advantages of SAP? I think maybe, okay, so I will start with the advantages of SAP over and above another packages. Advantages of SAP over other ERP packages. So we have discussed yesterday there not only SAP, apart from SAP, we have so many other ERP packages as well. Right?
Sir, does the ERP means enterprise resource planning, something like that?
Yes, enterprise resource planning.
And what exactly that means in short? Means because we were new to the class today. That's the reason.
So
ERP
ERP
means in
means
a single word.
enterprise resource planning means
Yeah.
in an organization, whatever may be the resources that are available, you need to utilize them with 100% efficiency or over and above the 100% efficiency. So if you want to utilize those resources, you need to have some proper planning, right? So which
Yeah.
will be addressed by enterprise resource planning tool or the enterprise resource planning softwares like SAP. So ERP is a tool which will be enable you to utilize your resources with 100% efficiency. That is nothing but a
Okay.
ERP.
Okay.
So
Fine.
advantages of SAP over and above other ERP packages. So the advantage number one of the SAP is SAP supports English as a language by default. So supports English as a language by default. Not only English, but it also supports the country specific languages along with country specific languages. So when I say country specific languages, like I am the German person, so I don't know English, but I will be able to do the transactions in SAP in German language. So SAP supports the country specific languages as German. Also, it also supports the country specific languages like Spanish, then Chinese language, etc. Right? So how it supports, how I will be able to do the transactions in multiple languages, we will see. So let me, this is just for your understanding purpose. I will try to show it to you the transactions, how I will be able to perform in SAP in English. Let us say I know the English, so I am able to do the transactions in SAP via English as a language. So let me try to log in into SAP system. So this is the SAP test server which I am using it. So I will try to put the user ID and the password details over here. See here, the logon language is nothing but English, right? If I put the logon language as English and click on enter, so here you see everything is available in English as a language. Let us say I want to create, I am the person working in the purchasing department, so I want to create a purchase order. So how I will create? I can go through the menu path like this, purchasing and purchase order, create and ME21N. See here everything I am able to see language as English, right? Everything I can see the vendor details and the header level data in English. But I don't know the English. Let us say I am the person. I don't know the English. I only know the German language. So then I will be able to do the transactions in SAP in terms of German as well. So let me try to log in into the system. The user ID is MM100. The password is India123. And the logon language over here is German. So how I will identify the German language? DE, right? So DE is the language key which will be used to identify the German language. Let us say I will just enter over here. So I just click on enter. Here you see everything is in German, right? So this is everything is German in language. It is not English, it is German. Let us say I want to create a purchase order. I will go to the materials management. Then purchase order. Let me see. See, everything here I can see as the German language. So here everything is in German language, right? But I also log in via a Spanish language, or I also log in into a Chinese language. But before you download the system, you need to have the relevant language activated by the relevant team who is providing the access to you, server access to you. But here only English and the German language is being activated for my login credentials. So I am able to log in and do the transactions in German along with English. Like this, there are so many other languages you can do the transactions in SAP as well. But before doing those transactions, your login credential should be activated for the relevant language. So this is one thing of the SAP system. So SAP will support the multiple languages along with the English as a main language. So then what else we have? What is the advantage number 2 of the SAP? So the advantage number 2 of the SAP is advantage number 2. It supports the general business processes. It supports common business processes. Common business processes pertain to procurement. Along with it, it also supports country specific legal requirements. So when I say country specific legal requirements, what is country specific legal requirements? The country specific legal requirements are like the tax requirements. Let us say in India, we were using some 4 or 5 years back. What is the tax structure? It was, yes. So
VAT.
during 2018, I think during 2018, we have a complex tax structure in India, right? Like you have VAT, you have CST, you have education cess. Like that, there are so much of complex tax structure that is available in India. So at that time, SAP was able to provide the solutions for the India taxation by introducing one module known as SIN. So SAP SIN was used. SAP SIN means it is a country India version. So SAP SIN was used as one of the additional module to address the country specific requirement of the taxation of India. But today what we have? Today we have GST, right? Yeah, so today we have GST solution. Even though we have the GST implemented by our government, so SAP was able to provide the solutions in GST as well. So they have made absolute, they have completely removed the country India version. Instead of country India version, they have introduced the GST functionalities. Also, at the same time, if you go to US or the Brazil, US and Brazil, they are using their own tax structures. So SAP is a common product, but based upon the country specific requirements, the SAP was able to address the country specific requirements according to their legal requirements. So like in US and Brazil, you have the country specific tax structure. So country specific tax structures are addressed by SAP tax structure, were addressed by SAP. So that means it also supports the common solutions that are available around the world. Along with it also supports the country specific requirements like tax, which is the advantage number 2 of the SAP system. Then what is the advantage number 3 of the SAP system? So the advantage number 3 of the SAP system is it has a robust authorization controls. It has robust authorization controls. So what is the meaning of robust authorization controls? The meaning is, let us say I am the person working in the purchasing department. I should have only access to the purchasing related activities. I should be restricted for finance related activities or the transactions. So how I should be restricted? I should be restricted by having a proper roles and authorizations. So the roles and authorizations functionality is quite good in SAP compared to the another ERP packages. If somebody, but let us say if you take some of the another softwares, you can do whatever you wanted to do, right? But in SAP, if you wanted to perform some transaction, or if you don't want to bypass, you wanted to bypass one process, you will not be able to bypass it. You will be caught at any moment of time. So the roles and authorizations are quite robust in SAP compared to the another ERP packages, so that you will not be able to do the transactions, or you will not be able to bypass the process.
You mean to
Yeah,
say we can't
not
interfere
limited
to
access. You will have the
departments?
access, but you will not be able to bypass the process. You need to follow the process at any cost.
You mean to say that we can't
If
interfere
you
to other
bypass the
department
process,
until
then
unless
it
the
will be
permission be granted?
lost to the organization, right? People who may be working in the purchasing department, they know. So how you need to, what is the problems if you are bypassing a particular process? So then what is the advantage number 3 of the SAP? So the advantage number 4 of SAP is it has a strong client server architecture. Client server architecture. So what is the meaning of the strong client server architecture? So the latest client server architecture that SAP is having is SAP R3. So when I say SAP R3, so the full form of SAP R3 is real-time 3-tier client-server architecture. SAP real-time 3-tier client-server architecture. SAP real-time 3-tier client-server architecture. So what is a client-server architecture? The client-server architecture is nothing but, let us say, you take some example of the Gmail. Sometimes your Gmail will get hanged, right? Let us say if there are crores of people are logged in into Gmail, sometimes it will take a little bit of time to view your Gmail box, or sometimes it will get hanged. But in SAP, even though there are some 60,000 or 40,000 people are working in SAP in one go, you take an example of the Indian Railways. In Indian Railways, there are 11 lakhs people are there. At any moment of time, minimum 30,000 people will be logged in into SAP system, and they will be performing their own activities. Even though 30,000 people are working on SAP, so the speed of the system will not get impacted. So it will also not give any wrong results. It will give a same results whenever one person is working upon. Also, if the 30,000 people also working upon, it will give you the same results for the activities which you are performing. Why that is possible? It is possible because of the server architecture that is having in it. So that particular server architecture is called as a SAP real-time 3-tier client server architecture. So when I say 3-tier, what is the meaning of the 3-tier? The meaning of the 3-tier is it has 3 layers in processing the data. So what are those 3 layers? 3 layers in processing the data. So the layer number 1 is presentation layer. Then layer number 2 is a application layer. And layer number 3 is a database layer. Okay, so SAP R3 includes 3 layers in it. Layer number 1 is the presentation layer, layer number 2 application layer, layer number 3 database layer. So we will see in tomorrow's class what is the presentation layer, what is application layer, and what is database layer. So we can stop the session here today and we can continue tomorrow for the further discussions.
Hello? Sir, can you explain the third point, robust presentation?
Okay, so any doubts do you have so that we can discuss 5 more minutes?
Sir, third point, robust, does it means that different departments we can access, but if the permission is granted or enabling us to for access of the different departments, does it means robust authorization, third point which you just said now?
Yeah, if they provide the access, you can access it. But if you don't provide the access, you will not be able to access.
So it means that SAP has a functionality that it can access to other department unless and unless the permission has been granted.
Yes.
Until
yes.
and unless.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So there's an interlocking system. You mean to say, in short, in general words, we can interlock.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Another thing, can we have a different time apart from this? Because I go to the job at 9:30. My job starts from 10 o'clock, 10 or 9:45, something login time. So can it be start earlier, half an hour, something like that, if that everything is feasible to everybody?
No, it is planned at 8 to 9. Okay, so
Okay.
I
I'm just
think I
asking.
don't
I'm just
think so.
asking.
Yeah, it is planned 8 to 9. Okay, we have, I
Okay.
think, 15 people, right? So 15 to
Okay.
16
No,
people we have.
I'm just asking because I log in at 10 o'clock at the job. That's the reason. Okay,
Okay,
fine.
okay.
Fine.
So we need
Fine.
to check, but
So,
for now it is planned at 8 to 9. Okay, we
okay.
will
So
try
we do
to, yeah.
we get the notes of this recording notes, recordings and something like that. The notes of
Yeah, yeah.
from your
So
side.
you are in touch. You are in touch with
Pardon me? No,
whom did you
yesterday
contact
evening.
in the?
Yeah, yesterday evening I talked to Vijay sir. So Vijay sir.
Okay, then, yeah.
So I don't know about the receptionist. I will come in the evening or sir. Can we meet you, sir? Can I meet you at the Amirpet? Because although my job is going on part time only, I'm finishing at
We
4
will
o'clock.
discuss. We will discuss those things offline. Okay.
Okay, so practically I will be there. Until what time you will be there at institute so that I can meet you personally, if you don't mind.
I will let you know. I will let you know. Today I am not available, so I will let you know. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thanks very much indeed, sir. Thanks very much.
Okay then. Thank you. Thanks, team. Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is. Um, Actually, I am confused in which module I wanted to select it because my friends were suggested to MM and SD. What is the difference between MM and SD? I don't know. Big knowledge on it.
No, don't go by your friend's suggestion. What is your
Okay.
educational background and what is the, if you are working, what activities you are working in your organization?
Yeah, actually, I'm working as a cloud engineer, like a AWS with DevOps.
Okay.
Okay, I got a good opportunity in my corporate, so I wanted to change it.
Okay. What is your
So
educational background?
my education background is BTech EC branch.
BTech ECE. Okay.
Yes, actually, I have overall 4 years experience on it. Right.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I need to think about your. You have a computer science engineering and you are working on AWS. And if you want
Yes.
to migrate to SAP, I think I can suggest SAP MM itself. Why? Because if you go for SAP SD, as I told
Yeah.
you, you do not have much scope to increase your capabilities later point of time. But if you learn SAP MM, you can, along with SAP MM, you have the option to go for SAP EWM or SAP Ariba or SAP APO, etc. So you have the wider range of opportunities. So that's
Okay.
what I can suggest you to go for SAP MM.
Okay. Actually, yeah, in my corporate, we have a opportunity in SAP SD and MM. I mean, if I wanted to migrate in that, so we have
Yeah,
opportunities
then
in
go
that.
for MM only.
So,
Then go for MM. So you have a wider market available over here instead of
okay.
SD. Yeah.
Yeah. And tomorrow we have a one more demo session. I mean, today is it okay? I mean, I should have to analyzing it because of I little bit of knowledge also I don't know in SAP. So if I take one more demo, if it is clarity too,
Yeah. Tomorrow you join at the same time. Okay.
yeah, sure.
Sir, we get
Okay
the
then.
notes today itself on the same email, our
Yeah.
Gmail.
Yeah. Yeah.
So until what time we will get the notes of today and yesterday's lecture?
It will, the video processing will take at least 1 to 1.5 hours. Once that is done, we
Okay,
will send it to you.
okay, okay. So shall we need to provide the email, Gmail also? I mean, our email ID.
Not email ID. So your WhatsApp number, just give it so that we will do that.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Okay
Thanks.
then.
Sure.
Thank you.
Is
Thank
there?
you. Bye bye.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Bye. We can meet tomorrow.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.